Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Incredible Nick and Narf, two brothers in Tucson, Arizona, doing whatever this is. But we are glad to be here today. We're so glad you're here to join us for an extra special show. Not extra special, just special as every other show is. They're all special. Featuring a wonderful act from the 60s, one of the big bands of the time. This is the great Tommy James and the Shondells.
They were big.
They had some wonderful songs. Anyway, Tommy James was born in 1947, and he's still with us. He started his career in 1959 at the age of 12.
12 years old as a lead singer.
With a band called The Echoes. He was known as Tommy Jackson. That's his birth name. He changed it to Tommy James. But he started singing at 12 years old. And the band stayed in a variety of names they had until they got to 1964 when they changed their name to the Shondells. And I know Nick looked up the reason why they called them.
In the Fort Wayne area was a gentleman by the name of Shondell who had come out with a song. And he really liked the name and he wanted to tribute it. So he changed the name to Tommy James and the Shondells.
That's right. And then there were a lot of bands with ELLS at the end, like the Shirelles, the Dovells. There were a lot of bands like that. So I think the Standells, there's another one. So I guess he thought that would be good. But
Santa Claus and the Elves.
But Tommy James and the Shondells had an incredible run. And, you know, they kept morphing and forming over the years as they had reunion shows and things. But basically, their big stretch was in the 60s and, into the early 70s.
If you looked at what kind of genre they played, they're described as pop, rock, and psychedelic.
And bubblegum.
Oh, and bubblegum.
That's right. Hanky Panky was their first hit. They have two number one hits, Hanky Panky and Crystal Blue Persuasion.
And if you guys are fans of Breaking Bad, like Frank and I were in season 5, I can't remember the episode, but they were talking about actually making Crystal Blue Persuasion the theme song or the final song.
The ultimate song when he was dying, but they used it instead earlier.
For good old Walt. Yeah, they used it earlier when they were thinking about going national.
To go with the Crystal Blue meth,
methamphetamine lab.
But Tommy James and the Shondells, they produced 8 albums, and then they had 8 compilation albums, and they had, like I said, 2 number ones, and they had 19 singles, some great songs. Yeah. And we've got 2 great choices from you today. Nick and I both selected one. Yep. Nick selected the wonderful, wonderful song, I Think We're Alone Now, and I picked one of his more kind of basic rocker, pop, bubblegum. I don't know how to define this one, but it's a song that was actually covered by the great Billy Idol did a version.
And it became number 1 in England.
Number 1 in England, number 3 in the U.S. It's Mony Mony. So some really cool tunes from Tommy James, the Shondells, which you know you're going to enjoy. But before we get started, as always, we'd like to invite you to subscribe, like, and share. If you have not, we hope you'll consider joining the tribe. We care for your ears, and we thank all of our supporters who are already subscribed with us. Thank you again for all your support. So anyway, without further ado, we want to get into the tunes and start cranking away. So we're going to start with Nick's selection first. This is Tommy James and the Shondells with I Think We're Alone Now.
That's what they say when we're together. And watch how you play. They don't understand, and so we're running just as fast as we can, holding on to one another's hand, trying to get away into the night. And then you put your arms around me as we tumble to the ground, and then you say, I think we're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around. I think we're alone now. The beating of our hearts is the only sound. Look at the way we gotta hide what we're doing. 'Cause what would they say if they ever knew? And so we're running just as fast as we can, holding on to one another's hand, trying to get away into the night. And then you put your arms around me as we tumble to the ground, and then you say, I think we're alone now. There doesn't seem to be anyone around.
think they could have milked that song longer, don't you?
I agree, and they could have come up with I think another chorus or added another chorus.
I agree.
To it.
Well, you know, again, this was right in the prime time of AM radio. You know, this was made for AM radio, and it comes in at like 2 minutes and 40 seconds or 30 seconds. It's not a really long song, but God,
really well done.
Oh, it's tasty. And, you know, I know it's been covered a couple of times, and one that Nick wouldn't know who this is, but there's a gal named Lena Lovitch. She was an alternative rocker, kind of semi-punk rocker who came out in the early 80s with the song My Lucky Number's 2. It goes, ooh, ooh, eh, ooh. You know that song? Anyway, on her album, she does a great cover of I Think We're Alone Now. It's really, really good. So if you get a chance, check out her cover of Tommy James's song.
A couple of things I wanted to mention. In 1970, while in Birmingham, Alabama, on stage, Tommy James actually collapsed and was pronounced dead.
Wow.
I mean, it hit the newswire that he was dead. He wasn't. He was from a drug overdose, and he took about a year off to recover.
Wow.
Also, the main drummer at the age of 39 playing golf collapsed on the golf course and died at the age of 39. I read a pretty long article on Tommy James once, and I know that he became a Christian in his very early life, maybe his mid to late 30s. And for a while, wasn't sure if he wanted to come back and do music. And he did some reuniting tours with some of the former members. But yeah, he said he was pretty heavy into some drugs. I mean, he started in the music industry at 12 years old.
12 years old, no kidding. That must be, you know, there's a lot of kids who are in entertainment. You know, there's a big history of kids with traumatic childhoods. You know, they can't handle fame. They were deprived of a lot of the normal things children grow up with, and they suffer traumas later in life. So
very true.
It's sad. But anyway, leave us comments. What did you guys think of I Think We're Alone Now by Tommy James? Anyhow, okay, here we get into my selection, which is, like I said, a really fun rockin' jumping song, which again, I say, Billy Idol has done a version of this song that really kicks ass too, but this song really cranks, was actually #1 in England. Here it is, Tommy James and the Shondells with Mony Mony.
Here she comes now, saying Mony, Mony. Oh, shoot 'em down, turn around, come on, Mony. Hey, she give me love and I feel alright now. There you go. You got me tossing, turning
Okay. The comparison to Mitch Ryder and the
I
Guitar
was going to say
Wheels.
it too. It
And
sounds
I never thought of that before, but my goodness.
absolutely. It sounds like Devil with the blue dress
Yes.
on. You know,
Which one? This one had to come first. What do you think?
Gee, they were close. I'm not sure what year this came out,
Interesting.
but I know Mitch Ryder, the Detroit Wheels, like Devil with the Blue Dress, and
Boy,
Good
wasn't
Golly,
this
Miss
similar?
Molly. Wow.
So similar. But hey, by the way, these guys were invited to play at Woodstock in '69, and they declined.
Wow, that was a mistake. I think they would have I don't know. Why? Didn't say why, huh? They just declined. Hey, there's a lot of big acts that declined Woodstock because they weren't sure what they were getting into. A lot of people were kind of wondering, is this thing for real? Is it going to happen? And they were worried about the venue out in the middle of a farm somewhere,
Well, they
nowhere.
asked Nick and Narf to host it, but
That's
they
right.
declined.
Because I was about 15 and I was busy getting my driver's license.
I had a math test, so you know.
No, actually, in '69 I was 18, so I was already an adult, consenting adult.
I actually have a couple of good buddies that were actually there that live very close to Woodstock, and they were there, and they said it was a mess. So.
Yeah, but what a great iconic event
Hot,
and everything.
no water, limited bathrooms. It was very muggy. It rained one day. It was-
Yeah. But hey, what did you guys think of Tommy James and the Shondells and our two selections? I think we're alone now. And Moni Moni, leave us your comments. We'd love to hear what you think. Did anybody of you guys ever see Tommy James? I mean, now that's the throwback.
He used to be, and we always talk about touring on the shows like Ed Sullivan and he did all those shows. They did all those shows. I always want to give.
They were big in the 60s, really, really big
Yeah.
in the 60s, no doubt about it. And these are some great tunes. And this anthology album, this Tommy James anthology album, is really got all of his great stuff and other things. And you'd be surprised at how many awesome songs they have on there. And a real range, like they say, bubblegum, pop, rock, and ballads and everything. So
I'm
it's
glad
really
we
fun.
did them today because it kind of brings up some good memories and reminds you of some of the great songs they really did.
We've been talking about it for a while. I'm glad Nick finally said, "Okay, let's go ahead and do it."
Let's
man.
do it.
It was fun to
It made
hear.
sense. So, what do you guys think?
Let us know. Leave us your comments. And again, we'd like to remind you, if you have not and you enjoyed what you heard, please subscribe, like, and share. Be a part of the family, the tribe. And again, all of our subscribers, we appreciate you so much for all of your love and support.
So come back and see us next time here on our great channel, Nick and Narf from Tucson.
That's
Signing
right.
off.
Peace out to all. We love you. Ciao, Bambino.
Ciao, guys.